Hey guys.
Hi. How's it going?
Okay. If I can, as I mess up my computer here. Sorry.
Wow, what's going on with my hair?
Hair looks great,
Hello.
Sarah.
I just got out of the shower, but I did get dressed.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, here. Start video.
Yep, my problem is it's always dark, no matter how many lights I turn on.
I know. Or you look like you have a halo.
Karen.
Yeah.
Everybody. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
we have everyone.
Guys, what? I'm in Southborough too.
Oh, yay.
We'll talk about that, but
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and call the Southborough Youth Commission meeting to order. It's September 10th, 2024 at 7:01 p.m. The first on the agenda is the minutes, review of the minutes from August 13th, 2024. Did anyone have any edits or comments?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Is there a motion regarding the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes from the August 13th Southborough Youth Commission meeting.
I second.
Roll call vote. Laura Chioco,
Aye.
Nancy Sutton,
Aye.
Sarah Micas,
Hi.
Susan Byer,
Aye.
and Karen Ingham.
Hi.
And Lauren Ritchie. Aye. Next is the director's report.
all right. It continues to be a busy time, both professionally and personally. I know a lot of us can relate to kids moving places or starting school, and so it's a busy time in the department. Let's see, we've been doing a ton of outreach. That includes the Southborough open houses, so thank you to any of you who were able to help out with that. We gave away a total of 600 bags, all pre-stuffed with information about the department and things that we have coming up this fall or this year. This also includes the Southborough Library, and just yesterday, it was just yesterday, right? I was at Colonial Gardens for the first time, and that was a lot of fun. I know now, though, not to say I'm going to bring donuts and show up with munchkins, because it's almost anarchy over there. But they were very motivated by coffee and donuts, which was great because gave me an opportunity to really meet some folks that I didn't know previously and tell them about what we do. And I'm looking forward to the next time we get to go back there. Let's see. We also participated in the first ever Safe Housing Task Force. What this is it's a multidisciplinary team of various departments getting together to talk about some of the more complex housing issues that we see in Southborough. Namely, just, I guess, to provide an example, if we have a situation where there's a potential hoarding disorder impacting somebody's safe housing, there's different considerations that need to be taken into account when trying to support that resident. And there's also certain protections that are in place for a person who has that diagnosis. So the usual route that the town takes in terms of responding to that kind of health concern is not the same way as you would another housing issue. So that was exciting to be invited to that and to be able to participate to that or contribute to that conversation. So that's something that's going to be happening on a monthly basis, and was just the first of many. We also, for Encompass, which is our misuse prevention coalition, we had an annual action planning and implementation retreat. As a reminder, we participate in this coalition along with Northborough, and the towns combined have share a drug-free communities grant, which is a rather large grant aimed at decreasing substance misuse in our community, especially with our youth. So we had a lot of really great conversation and some really creative ideas shared. It actually was very cool to see why coalition works when trying to address complex issues like this, because it's not one person or one department that holds all of the answers to these challenges. It's the collective process of everybody putting their heads together and having different skill sets and different resources and different perspectives that really sort of yielded some of these really creative ideas. So that was exciting, and that really helps inform sort of, what we're going to be working on in the year ahead. Our intern has become officially the first ever paid intern for the town of Southborough. Yay. She finished logging her practicum hours with us and has now, that was somebody running fast through your house, Karen.
My kid had to get to the air fryer.
Ah.
Past me.
That's great. So she finished logging her practicum hours and is now, as of today, starting her internship hours. So she went over to town hall to fill out her new employee packet of information. So just like any other employee, she's got to fill out forms with our payroll and benefits coordinator and all that exciting stuff. So that's exciting, not just for us, but for the town, that's something that's come to fruition. And I do know that for the fall town meeting, the personnel board is hoping to include the role of intern into the SAP, so that officially people can be classified as an intern in the future. So I feel like we're pioneers, we're paving the way here. Let's see, Megan has been doing a ton of work with children of either divorced or separated families. And this is nothing new to us, but more recently, some of these challenges have come to the forefront. And so she has been working on formalizing a policy around working with children and their families, especially in divorce or separation circumstances. We're doing a ton of outreach. As I said, we're trying to identify some things, giveaways that we can give at each place. Colonial Gardens, as I said, is partial to donuts, but we will find something else that we can give them with our information on it. But the food pantry, for example, it occurred to me, we have a ton of reusable grocery bags with our logo on it. That's a perfect place because folks are coming in with a lot of those bags, and some of them having plastic bags that are not as long lasting. So it makes me happy to know that we can provide them with something like that. And Janet's been working on designing some bookmarks with some great mental health messaging about the benefits of reading for us to give away at the library. We have been doing some September is Suicide Prevention Month. So you may have seen around town some signs, some awareness ribbon signs that we put up, along with a QR code for resources. And Shannon, I'm not sure if I've had a chance to really share. Shannon has had a number of personal reasons that she's had to be in and out of the office. Her father has experienced some medical challenges, which is as a result, she's had to take an intermittent leave from the department. But she was in today, and she's doing work where she can. So one of the things that she's been trying to do a lot of is to front load a lot of good information to be posted on Facebook. So she's been working on that a lot, sharing of information. Bye. Sorry, cleaning guy's leaving. What else? We have the Out of the Darkness walk that we're doing along with Friends of the Southborough Youth Commission, which is coming up on, I have it here somewhere.
22nd.
Thank you, Karen. I'm glad you have it off the top of your head.
We have nine walkers and we've raised $650 so far.
Great, fantastic.
Sarah, I know you wanted to participate potentially. Do you have, I think I sent you the flyer and the URL, so if you need anything, let me know.
That's for Sarah Micus, is that right?
Yeah. Oh, you're on mute. I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great. I think I will plan on being there and try to conjure up some sponsors. So,
And
yeah.
you can register the morning of at 9 a.m. The walk starts at 10, but we can also join ahead. So I'll make sure you have all the.
Yeah, that'd be great. I look forward to that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The one other thing that I want to mention, this is sort of now future oriented versus something that's from highlights since the last meeting, but I was working with the select board on coordinating a dedication for Kim Tolander. If you guys remember, she was the recipient of the Laurie Sugarman Whittier Wellness Award in 2023. And it was the idea of, or a collective idea of the Youth Commission, of Friends, of the Select Board, of the Friends and Family of Kim's, to do something, have some sort of dedication in town for her. Normally we give, some sort of gift of or token of appreciation for whoever our recipient is. And we felt like this would be a nice way to honor her in a lasting way. And so I'm happy to share that the select board was able to move forward with installing a plaque on one of the benches in the new park. I think it's called Heritage Park, right next to the library. And so to really sort of publicly acknowledge that that plaque and that dedication, we're actually going to be, this has really just been finalized in the last couple of days, but during Heritage Day at noontime, we're going to have a gathering over there to say a few words and publicly acknowledge Kim's contributions to the town and sort of showcase this bench that we have there for her in her honor. Let's see, what else can I share? I'm excited that this Thursday we start doing office hours over at the senior center. I think even more excited is the director of the senior center. I'm thrilled that she's so excited. It was a bigger reaction than I was expecting, but I think that they're seeing a lot of need over there for our services. So every week I'll be over there for a couple of hours. Elizabeth is going to be coming with me. So together we'll be doing a combination of outreach and offering consultations to people and trying to schedule follow-up appointments with them and whatnot. And it's new, so we're going to see what transpires over time. Hopefully it will gain some traction, and at the very least we'll develop some nice relationships with folks who like to enjoy going to the senior center. Try to Year's Curriculum Night is coming up on the 19th, where we plan to do some more outreach. Fall Town Meeting is happening on the 30th. We're not doing any outreach there, but I mention it because we have a couple of minor things happening with regard to the budget that have to do with needing to adjust the amount we have in the salaries for staff, but also some increased funding for mileage reimbursement now that we have Elizabeth on board as a paid employee. The suicide prevention walk in Natick, as we already mentioned, is happening on the 22nd. On the 24th, we are partnering with Families for Depression Awareness. Again, it's Suicide Prevention Month, and so we're trying to do programs where we can, not to the same extent that we do for Mental Health Awareness Month, but you know, some support for families during this month, and especially since it's tends to be a bit of a more stressful month for folks as they're transitioning from summer back to the school year. So Families for Depression Awareness is doing a presentation on addressing family stress and depression, and that's happening over at Algonquin in the library. There's also the option to attend this event virtually. So we're trying to do another push of this information. We've had low registration so far, and Families for Depression Awareness really would like to see at least 15 people in attendance in order to move forward with it. Otherwise, we'll have to cancel. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. In the last few days, we've had a few more people register. So so if you're thinking about it, or you're willing to share the information on behalf of the department, we'd greatly appreciate it. Shelf Help is happening. That's the book discussion group. I had a flyer nearby, but that's the one where we're going to be reading a book as a group, a few chapters at a time. Our first book is a resource for parents who have children with anxiety. I just checked in with the library this afternoon, sent an email to see if we have folks registered for that, because I want to try and assign a couple of chapters ahead of our first meeting. So I'm eager to hear. I've heard a lot of exciting comments. In fact, another neighboring community reached out to me today and said, "Can we copy you?" Which felt really nice. So they're going to do something similar. So fingers crossed that we have enough folks to participate in that. But that's happening. The first meeting's on October 8th at the library. I think that's at 5:30. I'm sorry, I don't have that. So many dates and times floating around in my head. I'll grab that for you in a second. Heritage Day is coming up. We're hoping to do outreach then, and I believe hopefully Janet has sent out a sign-up sheet for that. So thank you if you're able to do that or considering it. We really appreciate it. And then lastly, this is a bit of ways away, but we were able to acquire all of the supplies. We had enough supplies to do the Mindful Art program again, which for those that were able to make that, it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like paint night, but a self-help kind of paint night with good company, nice food, and some mindfulness practice. It was a nice combination. So we've asked Kim Welch to come out again, and so we've secured a date of just before Thanksgiving on November 15th at the Senior Center again. So we look forward to advertising that. Any other thoughts or questions in response to anything I just said? Shelf Help, by the way, is 4 to 5:30. I knew 5:30 was in there somewhere. So 4 to 5:30. There's 3 dates. So each book we will have an opportunity to discuss over the course of 3 dates, which makes it a little more digestible. And that is all I have.
All right. We're going to talk about outreach opportunities next. Heritage Day. I did see that Janet had sent out the sign up for it. I didn't open it yet, but I know that's out there. What kind of materials will be there for Heritage Day?
Sure. So setup is pretty early in the morning, and I don't want to have to ask anyone to help with that because that's a little bit of schlepping and going above and beyond. So we're hopeful that we can enlist the help of some scouts or maybe even our rec department to assist us with that. But that occurs on the earlier side. The sign up sheet is, I believe, 10 to 2, if I'm remembering correctly. And so we're splitting it up into 2-hour shifts, but really we accept any help people can offer. And it's, unless the weather is really crummy, it tends to be a rather pleasant experience. We will probably have the Wheel of Fun again. The Wheel of Fun is this Wheel of Fortune style thing that we bring with us. It seems to be very engaging. It doesn't matter whether people win a prize or not. They just want to come over and spin the thing, which is pretty neat. We have been giving out prizes or giveaways using the Wheel of Fun. So we'll probably do that again. But in addition to that, we'll have some information about all of the stuff that I just talked about. Actually, I didn't mention to you guys our info sessions. We started offering those. I'm happy to share that I had my first info session last week on covering the skill of validation. It was perfect. I loved every minute of it because it did exactly what we were hoping it would. And we've already had another phone call for somebody who wants to do an info session on understanding ADHD, which is great because, you know, perhaps depending on that person's circumstances, they just want to better understand something that's happening for themselves or a family member. And that's our goal, is to provide that additional information and maybe help build some empathy if that can be, you know, we know family members can be trying sometimes. So,
Was it a one-on-one, your
it
validation?
can be one, actually, it can be one-on-one, but it can also, this is the one where you can host a private party.
Right, I didn't know what you did. What did you do
Oh,
already?
I see. Yep. So the one I've done, so the one I've already done was one-on-one, and this one will probably be one-on-one.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in hosting a private party so that we can get our feet wet with giving that format a try, we would love volunteers for that. It just helps us sort of, again, get our feet wet with how that will work and what it will look like. And
I'm happy to host one.
okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll reach out with you and then we could figure out a topic or whatever. Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
fun.
great, excellent.
Sarah, are these things you advertise, or is it based on people reaching out to you about certain
So we
subjects?
advertised it, yeah. So we have, that was one of the flyers that went out in the 600 bags that we sent out.
Okay.
We have understanding anxiety, understanding ADHD, understanding depression, listen with love, say it with love, QPR, a little sort of introduction to our department. So a 1-hour session to learn sort of all the scope of what our department offers and what it looks like. Trying to remember what the other ones are. I am working on a few others, but I got a little overzealous with all of the things I wanted to do. So I decided to just move forward with this batch. And we'll probably make updates on our website as we start to offer more of them. So we did advertise it to the public. If somebody calls us and it feels appropriate, you know, maybe they have no knowledge of these, we can offer it to them that way too, is to just say, hey, maybe this would be an appropriate fit for you.
I'll reach out to the preschool, even though I'm retired. But I think that we could probably do an info session that is relevant to for parents of
That'd be
young.
great. That's perfect.
Right.
That'd
Right.
be awesome. Thank you.
I think I'd like to do
definitely-
either. I liked the listen with love or the say it with love. Those
Yeah.
were really great. So I think something broad like that would be,
Yeah.
I could probably get a good group to come, maybe.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I'm remembering where I left the flyers now. They're right here on my desk. So we also have, oh, navigating the mental health system. So, you know, understanding what are all those letters after people's names? Where do I go for, you know, I've just learned about this new issue. Where do I even start? How do I look for a mental health provider? Tips and, you know, tricks. When to use this service versus when to use that one. So that's another one that these are all what it basically did was just formalize these conversations. These are things that we talk about with people all the time, and just wanted to sort of package it differently. So yeah, so it's exciting. I hope it catches on, because I think as a town department, it's a really nice way to deliver services to people. It may not be, you know, more intensive ongoing work, but just sort of a touch point, you know, and a way to provide education, which I think is great. I'm biased, of course, though.
I think
No,
it's
it
great.
sounds great.
How did we get on this topic? Info session, outreach, Heritage Day, trying to circle back. I guess maybe it was brought up because of what would be at the table. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. So really, you know, just advertising the things we have going on this year and just the department in general. So that's about it.
Okay. Next is a Friends update from Karen, if you have anything.
Well, we have not met yet. We were supposed to meet in September, but we're having a hard time finding a date in September that everyone can join. So we have pushed it to October. But Amy Ozdani and myself are sharing. She's helping me. So we did meet. Amy and myself met yesterday. We were going to meet with Sarah in the department on to get winter wishes started, just to be ahead of the game. We're meeting on September 23rd with Sarah. What else do I want to say about Friends update? Yeah, like I said, we have, you know, we're excited to do the suicide walk with Shannon. Hopefully we can get a couple more people. I'm actually I put it out to my whole Girl Scout troop, so I'm hoping I have 15 girls or 14 girls still, so I think we might get some more walkers. And yeah, so we will be meeting in October. But doesn't mean that we're not starting to think about fundraising. You know, we're still going to do our March Munchie Madness program. We're going to try to think of some more less effort involved, because we've had some ones in the past that have had a lot of involved shop with a purpose, and we go to the community house and it's been great and we have vendors, but it's a lot of work and we don't really make that much money on it. So we're trying to revamp some of our fundraising efforts this year to be a little less work maybe and try to bring in a little more money. Like Kathy's been really generous with getting raffle tickets, and sometimes we just simply get tickets to a Celtics or Patriots game and we raffle those off, and we made like $1,200, and it was so little effort involved on our part. And so we'll think about some new things this year, so we can at least make a decent amount of money, but also try to not have such, because I feel bad. We had all these vendors come, and then I got a bounce house and we sponsored it, and then it was like such a crummy cold day at the community house, and we had like no one there. So I feel bad for all the vendors that come as well, and they're so generous with their time and their money and donating, and they didn't get a lot of audience. So we'll see. So the Shop with a Purpose, we've done it 3 years in a row in May, and that might have been our last year after 3 years. But stay tuned for more, but we will be meeting in October.
Okay, thanks. And then, lastly, we have our next meeting for October 8th. That's going to be an in-person meeting. And, that's just a kind of a heads up on that. I'll check with Janet and see where that's going to be. I don't know if that's been reserved yet.
Just asked me that today. She said, "Where's that going to be?" I said, "I think we're going to talk about it tonight."
Yeah.
So we haven't reserved a space, assuming that we would chat about it tonight. I will put a plug in for our building. I would love for you guys to come over and see our newly updated reception space. And the upstairs room tends to be comfortable this time of year. It's not too hot and not too cold. It's when in the middle of summer or in the middle of winter, it's a no-go. But if you guys were amenable to the idea, we can check in with recreation to see if just to ensure there's no other programs happening upstairs and host the next meeting here if you'd like.
It looks like everyone's in agreement.
Yeah,
That
oh,
sounds
yes.
Little head nods. And then that brings us to another question that we ask every so often. Would it be good for us to increase the number of times we have in-person meetings? We could also attempt a hybrid meeting where there's an in-person meeting, but someone joins in on the computer. Sarah says she knows how the technology works for that or could figure it out.
Yeah.
I would say that some options would be maybe moving to quarterly in-person meetings or moving to all in-person meetings. It's an option. It comes up, and I think there's some advantages. You know, the primary advantage to the web meetings is more of just convenience, I think. And if we have duties at home that make it easier to do this from home.
In addition, we have a permanent record of the meeting, having it recorded.
Right.
So always go back and say, what the heck did we talk? I mean, Sarah does a wonderful job with notes, but that actually helps.
Sometimes I have to go back to.
Yeah, sometimes it helps to go back and watch how the conversation went. So that's nice. But go ahead.
I
Sorry.
also have appreciated the in-person meetings that
Yeah.
we've done, just a couple of them, but it has all the advantages over having a Zoom meeting. So, you know, we know what Zoom tends to slow people down a little bit in talking and responding and having good discussions. Just from the nature of the Zoom platform. But what do you guys think?
Can I just comment that I've made a decision this year that I'm going to work a long day on Tuesdays. There's enough things that I'm excited about in terms of being able to offer that having evening hours really helps, and you know, being available for being on site for our intern if she happens to be here in the evenings some days. So I will be planning on working most Tuesday evenings. So that's a change for me, which means here I am in Southborough. We're all in Southborough, but in our own respective places. So I would be happy to see everybody in person too, if that's an option.
I like the idea of doing it quarterly.
Yeah, I think
You know, keeping the convenience of Zoom a majority of the time, but also making sure that we actually see each other in person regularly.
Yeah, it is nice in the winter time to stay home. When it's cold outside, it's nice to stay home, so.
Yeah, I love the idea personally of doing the in-person meetings. I definitely get the convenience factor, but I think starting off with like a quarterly plan makes sense, and then like moving from there, maybe people feel like after doing that, they want to do less or more. And, you know, like, I think that might be a good starting point.
I'm in agreement too. I mean, you know, I've been on the board for a long time, and when I first was onboarded, we had in-person meetings, which were great, and I think it's really conducive to lively, creative discussions, but they also were very long. And one of the things I do like about the Zoom meetings are they tend to be a little more efficient. And, yeah, and we have an agenda.
Well, no, yeah, we have an agenda. There's been the Youth Commission has developed so much, but one of the things that I think has helped is doing this director's report, because even though I kind of review it, yeah, we used to talk for hours about
It was very, I thought it was healthy, important discussions. But I think if we could kind of do what we do on Zoom in person efficiently, but maybe leave some more room for discussion, that would be great, and go to a quarterly in-person model. Get the best of both worlds.
Karen, do you have?
Yeah,
any-
I'm in total agreement. Yeah. And I think you could put a limit, like, you know, a 90 minutes max or whatever. You know, we don't have to be, you know, obviously we could gab on and on or get all our work done. And then if we start trickling and, you know, and if people have to leave, that's okay. And then if conversations linger, you know, at least we've gotten the meat of our meeting done. And then, yeah, I'm all for it. But
I'll
as
keep
long
us
as
on
it's
track.
yeah, there you go. Bring a little bell.
Yeah, I can do it. So that would mean the October meeting and then maybe a January meeting, which would be in the dead of winter, but we'll
It's
bring
better than, like,
something
think it's
warm,
probably-
warm soup or something.
Yeah. And I'm sure people will appreciate November and December with all the chaos of holidays and whatever, whatnot being on Zoom. And then
Right.
we can start and see everybody in January. That works.
Okay. Thank you. That is all we had on our agenda. So next is adjournment, and we'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
All right. So roll call vote. Laura Chico,
Hi.
Nancy Sutton,
Aye.
Sarah Micus,
Bye.
Susan Byer,
Bye.
Karen Ingram,
Hi.
and Lauren Ritchie. Aye. All right. Bye, everyone.
I just have
See you in
I have a
October.
fun- I have a funny story. Laura and I were doing outreach at the Finn orientation. And so that was on a Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. The next day I was working an open house, and there was this realtor, and I was talking with him. He was representing the seller and I was representing the buyer. And I was like, oh, he's like, I just moved to Southborough. And I'm like, oh, and then we started talking. He's like, yeah, I'm a kindergartner. I'm like, oh, he's like, I was at orientation yesterday. He looks at me, he goes, did you hand me a bag yesterday? In fact, I did. With all these
That's so
but it
funny.
was like,
The
he was
small
like,
world.
I know, and his office was in Sudbury. He didn't know anything, like, and it was just so funny that the night
That
before
is
I
funny.
just handed him that bag, but he was like so appreciative.
That's awesome.
He's been in Southborough for 1 month. And he's like, and he was like, and he's like picking my brain about the dump and the transfer station and then orientation. And his daughter came off the bus happy the first day. So he was very excited.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. What a great story.
All right.
All right.
Sarah,
Go watch the debate.
Yes.
doing our best for her dad.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I
Thank you
know.
very much, guys.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Good night,
bye.
everybody.
October.